Here is a neat Power Query challenge. How do you group every other row, odd and even separately? Let's say you've got a simple list of numbers, like a sales column, and you want to calculate two totals. One for the odd rows, like 1, 3, 5, 7, and one for the even ones, 2, 4, 6, 8. And so on. First, select your data and go to Data from Table Range. Power Query doesn't have a button for that, but I'll show you two different ways to do it. Let's start with the classic method, the one you can build mostly through the interface. Then I'll show you a clever one-liner that does the same thing. Now let's create an index column. Add column, index column. You'll get 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Also rename the column to group. Next, we'll use the table transform columns function to modify the index values. Here we will use the function called numberMod. The first argument is represented by the underscore symbol, which is the current value of the column, and the second argument, 2, means we'll calculate the remainder when dividing by 2. Then we just add +1 to shift the results from 0 and 1 to 1 and 2, creating clean group numbers. And now we can use the group by function. Group by group number and calculate the sum of the sales column, call it total sales. The result is one total for all odd numbered rows and another for all even ones. Now let's do the same using the list logic. No columns, no groups. First, drill down into the sales column. Now you've got a plain list of numbers. To keep only the odd rows, we will use the List.Alternate function. List.Alternate is a clever function that picks items from a list in a pattern. The first argument is your list of numbers. The next three, count, offset and step, define how to pick items. That gives us the values of our odd rows. Then just wrap it in list sum to get the total amount. If you remove the last argument, you'll get all even rows instead. Now to wrap this up neatly in a custom table, use #table to manually create a table. The first argument is a list of column names. Use curly braces for that. The second argument is a list of rows, each row being a list that includes the group number and total, calculated with list sum. So List.Alternate is the heart of this method. It lets you pick every other item without needing an index column. List sum collapses the list into a single total, and #table turns those numbers into a nice column named table. So we've seen two ways to group every other row. Both give the same result, just with different styles. One builds the result gradually, like stacking Lego blocks, and other slices straight through the list. Use whichever fits your workflow. Want clarity and flexibility? Go with index and group by. Want speed and minimal steps? Try List.Alternate. Power Query gives you options, and knowing both makes you a smarter user. And don't forget, the more likes the video gets, the more challenges I'll cover in future tutorials. See ya!